Hello, it's Rufio. I am a streamer for the 100 Devs stream team. 100 Devs is a free online software engineering bootcamp and web agency where you can learn how to code for free and get job advice, again, for free. So if you are interested in that, I will put the links in the description below. In this stream, we did two Code Wars. We did the binary sum Code Wars, and we did the triangle inequality Code Wars. We also, as we are wont to do, got off on a lot of different topics. Today was more philosophical. We talked about the nature of God and whether God was, by their nature, a fish or a bird. Think about that. Checkmate, atheists. We also talked about how Pythagoras was part of a bean cult and really just freaking hated beans. So there's your math tidbit for the day. As always, I hope you enjoy the VOD. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Hello, it's Rufio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Rufio. Oh, that's me. I don't normally wake up at 6:30 in the morning. But I feel like it's either just like this particular time in my life, or it's me being a 28-year-old now. But I keep having to wake up for something, and then I'll wake up right before it, and then I'll look at my phone, and it'll be like 10 minutes before I was supposed to wake up, and I'm like, well, damn, like, all right. So I woke up at 6:20 technically this morning, even though I was trying to be up by 6:30. I'm also a little sick today. Anyway, it's weird. It happened on Saturday too. I had to be up at also 6, and I was up at 5:50. Without an alarm. My body knows the alarm time. Is this adulting? Anyway, I'm sick, but I'm not really sick. I'm mostly fine. But I got some post-nasal drip. So, what did I have for breakfast? I had borscht. What did you have for breakfast? I had borscht because I made it last week, and what I do when I eat stuff is I'll make something and I'll eat it for 2 weeks. And if I have other dishes in the fridge, I'll also eat those. But if I just have the one, I'll just eat that. What's that? It's like a Slavic, Eastern European beet soup dish. So it has cabbage in it, beets, like potatoes, carrots, and then you put like sour cream in it too. It's so freaking good. I love borscht, and once I decided to make it for my family because I was like, this is like top tier food, and I made it for my family, and they all hated it. They were like, wow, this is certainly a flavor. And I was like, what do you mean? This is like one of the 2 dishes I can make well, and I think it's so good. So I have one brother and I who like borscht, and I found out he liked borscht, and I was like, brother, like, nobody else in the family likes this dish. And he was like, what? My skincare routine? Actually, I don't have one. I used to be really into skincare. And then I just kind of stopped, and like the weird thing is, like, so I had really bad acne a couple years ago, and then it just kind of went away, and then sometimes it'll just kind of come back. But I think it's related to like milk products, I think. But I did all this skincare for it, and then it just didn't seem to do anything, and then I stopped doing the skincare, and then nothing changed. So how do you spell it? It's borscht. What's in it? Beets, potatoes, carrots, cabbage, and like you can put in sour cream, caraway seeds. Ugh, inner peace. I've always wondered how circadian rhythms work for people who work on submarines where they go for months without sunlight. It's crazy how much like circadian rhythms like affect stuff. Here in the US, we had daylight savings at the beginning of this month where we got an extra hour of sleep, and now it gets dark earlier, and there's just freaking something where it gets dark outside and my brain is like, go in the cave. Go in your cave. It's time to go to sleep. And it's like 4. It's literally 4. And I'm like, okay, shut up, body. Like, capitalism doesn't work like that. Is it snowing in my city? No, but it should be. Thank you, climate change. So I've been going to sleep kind of early. I don't have like a set bedtime ever, but I've gone to sleep at like 9:30 once or twice this week. Why not, I guess, whenever you're tired, whatever. All right, should we do some Code Wars? There we go. Beautiful. All right. So, do you remember the last time we did Code Wars and I got so frustrated and it was like Rufio angry and it was just not a like vibe that I want to replicate. I don't want to replicate Rufio angry. I would like Rufio calm, Rufio chill. Rufio is frustrated with this, but it's fine. So we can do a 6Q today, but we're going to do the thing that I forgot that they tell you to do in 100 devs. Just work on it for 20 minutes, and if you don't get it, then move on, bitch. And I think I'm going to do that today, so we can move on. Do I have cats? Because you think with cats, daylight savings time is the worst since they refuse to recognize it. I have no pets, no. We could try a 7. Okay. Twist my arm. Sort by most completed. Not trained. Oh, hello. Not trained on. 7. This one looks like it would suck. Let's do it. Let's look at it. Chilfio vibes only. Indeed. Indeed, especially if I don't have that much time streaming, depending on when this car is done. Okay, implement a function that adds 2 numbers together and returns their sum in binary. Wait a second, what am I saying? You read a sentence and you're like, wow, I know I literally did not absorb a single word. I said it, but it didn't go into my brain. Okay, wait a second. Adds 2 numbers together and returns their sum in binary. Oh, okay. The conversion can be done before or after the addition. Should be a string or return. Yeah, that seems not that bad, maybe. Not binary. You have to get back on the Code Wars grind. Well, I mean, you could. You could do it occasionally once a week like I do. You understand that feeling? Yeah, it's a thing. I'm trying to think. What are the shortcuts for binary? Unless we would literally have to make like an entire freaking object that just maps it over like 1 or whatever. I don't know. We can use Google. Google seems pretty good. Yeah. All right, well, let's do it. I'm going to drop this in the chat for y'all so you can also do it because we want to do it together. I do want to just say beforehand, give me hints, but don't give me the answers, okay? Thank you. All right. It's Wednesday morning. Let me copy it all, dang it. I'll close this. Oops. Didn't get the I there. Didn't get everything there. Would you like to we'll just copy this whole thing. We'll do this. Okay, that looks good. And then let's comment everything out. And then we're just gonna grab this so it's easy testing. We know exactly what the function's gonna be named. There's a method we can do to convert the numbers to binary. I don't know. I feel like there should be. Wants you to convert from JavaScript to assembly. I feel like there should be. I don't think there is, but and I may like literally eat my words here, but I feel like this shouldn't be that hard. Am I jinxing myself? All right. So we're gonna do prep. Prep is parameters. So we do the parameters of this whole thing, and we talk about the return, and then we talk about the example. So we do some examples, and then we do pseudocode. And if you don't know what 100 Devs is, it's a free online bootcamp and web agency that teaches you how to code and get you a job in tech. And for the past month, we've been doing Hunttober. It's over now, but it was like prepping you for the job hunt. And we talked about prep, and we talked about using prep in these problems and acting like it's an interview. So should we act like it's an interview? If it's an interview, then maybe we shouldn't write prep out, but since people are watching me, maybe I still will. Just don't do it in your own interview, maybe. But maybe I'll pretend like this is an interview where I can also Google. How would that be? Don't use the word prep. Right. Well, so that's the question I guess I'm asking, because if it was a legitimate interview, I wouldn't be writing PREP. I wouldn't be writing that out, okay? But given that this is a stream where I have people watching me and might just come in out of nowhere and not know what I'm doing, it might be helpful to do it just for additional context with the disclaimer. Don't do that in your own interview. Don't write out prep literally. I don't know. What do we think? I don't know. So I'm gonna write it out with the oh god, I forgot the word. With the note, that's not the word I'm looking for, of don't write out the words prep in your interview. I'm going to, because I'm on stream. So parameters. We're gonna talk through this like it's an interview. So let me just interview state of mind. Hey Chad, thanks for having me today. So we're doing some binary today. All right, so I just want to like talk through the problem a little bit. Are you okay if I take notes? Yeah? Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that. So we need to implement a function that adds two numbers together. Okay, so function that adds two numbers together and returns sum in binary. The conversion can be done at any point in the problem. Do you have a preference for when the conversion is done in the problem? No? All right, well, we'll just figure it out as we go then. No preference for when it is done. All right, and then we are given a number. We are given a number, and we output a string. Is there any time that we will not be given, like we'll be given like a blank input? No? Never given a blank input. All right, let me think. If there's anything else here that I'm missing, the answer should always be in binary, right? Like it's always going to be zeros and ones. It's not ever going to be anything else. Right, cool. Answer will always be in binary, zeros and ones. All right. So what we're going to get out of this is we're going to, like I said, take in a set of numbers. Will it always be a set? Like, will it ever just be one number? No, it's going to always add two numbers together. Cool. Always will be two numbers. And then always will return a string. We'll never get a blank string back because we're always going to be given like the two number inputs, right? All right. So examples. We're going to just make some console logs. So our function's called add binary. And then we can do 1, 1. And then out of that, we're going to get 1, 0. All right, I'm going to copy that 2 more times. We'll have 3 different examples. Is it whole numbers only? That's a good one. All right. Is it whole numbers only? Yeah, I think so. I think in order to do binary, it has to be whole numbers only. Yes, is whole numbers only. That's a good one. Thanks, Pumpkin. Okay, so the second one we'll do is 5, 9, and that will give us 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. Oops, sorry. 1, 1, 1, 0. And then this last one, I think it would be interesting if we would just do 0, 0, and then we would just get, what would 0, 0 be in binary? It would just be 0, right? Right? And then before I write out the actual, I just want to like write through the code. You don't speak binary. Well, is it okay if I Google that really quick? What is 0 in binary? Oh, wait a second. What is 0 in binary? Oh, it says represented as 0, but not sure. I think this is translating the actual question into binary. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a function that takes in a set of numbers. Wait a second. I gotta sneeze again. Wait. Maybe not. Okay, I think I'm through it. Okay. Set of numbers. Then what I'm thinking is, I don't think there's a method that actually just, in the middle of Googling, check if the MDN has a method to convert numbers to binary. Yeah, that's where I was about to go. Is there a method that converts numbers to binary? I would just straight up ask the person that, but since none of us are actually in a job interview, is there a method that converts straight to binary JavaScript? Yes. Yes, really? I didn't know that. That's cool. Using toString? Alright, so check if, or find a function that, oh, you know what? I didn't understand this correctly. Because it's gonna add it, but it's not gonna be like 0, 1, 0, 1. It's gonna add the numbers together and then convert it in binary. Okay, that's good for me to understand. So I actually think I'm going to add the numbers together first. Add the numbers, the set of numbers together. Then use a method, because we think that there is a method in JavaScript to convert to binary, return. I think that's all we have to do. Does this look like we're missing anything? Yeah, of course, Rufio. You can check the MDN to look up methods. You know what? I don't need your sass. Welcome, Forrest. All right, great. Let's do it. I'm feeling optimistic about this. All right, so we've already made a function that takes in numbers, as you see. Then we want to add them together. So the method for that is... my brain says aggregate, and I know that's wrong. This is such a simple method. What is the method? Since this is not an interview. Method for adding numbers together. Plus sign. Thank you so much. That's not even a method, but you're right. Okay, so then we're just going to do A plus equals B, I think. And then we're going to set it equal to a variable. We're going to say let added set, how about that, equals, and I think it can just be a plus equals B. I think that will add it together. Or would it just be straight up the plus? So now that we have the added set, and then we're gonna, this is the part we're gonna return at. So return added set dot toString, right? In theory, that's all we have to do. So let's test it out with run.js, which decided to install an update at this moment. So wait. Is it just straight up a plus? Okay. All right. I trust. Out of curiosity, when do you use the plus equals and when do you use the plus? I swear I had that down, but I did not appear to. When you're not like assigning the value, right? Just so you know what we're waiting for here. Plus equals reassigns, and we're assigning. Gotcha. So we will do that in this case because we're not reassigning. We're just assigning. Thank you, run.js. I need to figure out how to use Quokka one of these days. I have it. It's in my files. I just never actually used it. Could run.js be any slower? We could just actually, we wouldn't see if it actually works or not, I guess, or like we wouldn't see the console logs. Let's just see. Well, that's all right. Expected 2 to equal 10. All right. So what we can get from that is that, like, if we just did this, it would just be like straight up 2, and then this is just making, like, it's just doing this. So that isn't what we want to do then. toString is not what I thought it was, but I thought it was. Decimal 2 binary. It's so small. Oh, hello. toString 2. Oh, that's a decimal number. Okay. Couldn't just be simple. Recursive method. Would rather not do recursion. Pass an argument into toString? What argument would that be though? Like, cause like in theory it'd be cool to just put in like binary and then it worked, but what argument would we be putting? Like straight up just like 2? The base? I don't know enough about this, y'all. I don't know what the base is. Wait. All right, everyone. Be quiet. You did it. Good job. I don't understand, but I'm going to. I'm going to understand. Second try. Beautiful. Well, that was it. So, why did that work? I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. I can author my own kata, everybody. All right, cool. Oh, when did I get on a 5Q level? Ooh, when did that happen? I don't deserve that. Right, I don't understand this base thing. I like it. I don't understand it. toString. Let's just look it up. So we talked about this base. It is an integer between 2 and 6, which is used to specify the base. Base 2 just makes it binary. And the other ones? You're not going to lie, you don't understand it either. We're attempting to understand it. This is our attempt. Wait a second. toString MDN. That's incredibly rude. Freaking restart. It's fine. Whatever. Firefox. That just shut down like everything. That's cool. Stop it, Rufio. You definitely deserve that 5. I don't, because I never done a 5. Alright. Wait. I wanted MDN toString. Alright. We need a nose emote, everyone. Please. Load, please. toString takes no parameters. Can convert an object to a primitive value. Yeah, but what is this whole base stuff? Wait, hello? Where is it gonna say it? Help! If someone understands this base thing, will you explain it to me like I'm 5? Hey, BTech. The toString method for numbers lets you specify if you want to represent it in a specific base. All right, what does the specific base mean? What does it mean to be base 2? Such good questions. Stop it. Thanks. But really, what does it mean? Base 2 equals binary. Always? So like base 2 always equals binary. And what is base 3? We normally represent numbers in base 10, which is a decimal. But for this problem, we wanted it converted to base 2, binary. Okay, so is there trinary? Is there such a thing as base 1, base 3, base 4, base 5? Or is it like there's only like base 2 and base 10? Is this math theory? Anything. So, do you know when it would be base 3? Base means powers that represent different places. Bases can be anything 2 plus. There is, but it isn't common. There's base 16. So, I guess you would just know whether you want to do base 3 or 45 when the use case comes up. Hexadecimal is base 16. So base 2 is binary. Base 3 is trinary. Base 16 is hexadecimal. Base 10 is decimal. 10 to the first power, 10 to the second power, 10 to the third power is our normal system for 10, 100, and 1,000. 10 to the, oh, that would make sense. 10 to the third would be 1,000. 2 to the first power, 2 to the second, 2 to the third is binary. 10, 100, 1,000. Oh, wait a second. So binary, toString 2, 2 to the 2th power. Wait. So binary 10, wouldn't binary 10 make more sense to be, like, wouldn't that make this like a 1, 0? Except we didn't actually, yeah, like a 1, 0, yeah. Oh, the number before is the base. Oh, thank you. I was not getting that. So 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third. That would be the base 10. That would make sense. It's the base of the exponent. Okay. No, it's 2 because it's 1 and 0. And the base number actually represents how many digits there are. 2 to the 0th is 1. Anything to the 0th is 1. Right. I do remember that from math. After that, it gets wild. 100 in base 2 is quantity 4. 100 in base 10 is the quantity 100. I think we just mathed. I think this is math. Now, software engineers don't have to be great at math. I'm not great at math, but it does seem that we have to have some elementary understanding of it. Hey, Madeline, thanks for being here. I caught your stream on Sunday. I was so happy to catch it. Or just a little bit of it, but I was there briefly. Math theory is weird stuff. Apparently, I always thought I hated math, and then I did trig in college, and I understood it, and I was like, what? Is this what it feels like to understand math? I got a C+ in that class, which is not a great grade, but I didn't really care because I understood it. And I was like, that's a well-deserved grade. Like, I can see what the rubric was, and I was graded fairly according to the rubric, and I understood it, and that was my favorite math class I ever took. Is this all discrete math? I don't know. I never took discrete math. I took up to trig in college. That's it. Never did the calculus or whatever. Not shitting on anyone who does like math. Instructors matter. Perhaps I had not so good instructors in the past. I did, and I do agree with that. I remember when I was in 10th grade, which is age 16 in the United States, I had a teacher who, like freaking kids, if they can get away with something, they will. And so we would ask her, we'd be like, teacher, tell us about your day. And she'd be like, oh God, it was such a fucking awful day. And I'm like, yeah, tell us about it. And then she would just like be writing on the board and be like, should we just watch the TV show Grimm instead? And we were all like, let's go. And then we did. It was great. We also had a sub for several months while one of my math teachers had cancer the year before. And we would get him going on the craziest tangents because he had been a vet, I guess. And so we'd be like, Mr. Sub, like, tell us about what it's like being in a bunker. And he'd be like, being in a bunker. And then he'd go on for 45 minutes. Or my favorite one that I remember is he was from the Midwest. And apparently Midwesterners pronounce the WH in words. Instead of saying what, they'd say what. And I don't believe this. I don't actually believe this. I don't think anyone says what. But he would extol the virtues to us as many times as we could get him going on it, which was more than once. he would be like, it's not what, it's what. It's not when, it's when. And we're like, it's not who, it's who. And he's like, no, not that one. But it's what, when, where, why, but not who. Math vet teachers are a vibe. We I did not learn a damn thing in that class because we would just get them going on the craziest tangents, like pronunciation of WH in English. For non-native English speakers, no one says what. No one says that. We say what. There's no H pronunciation. Getting triggered is a superpower. You skidded through calc for your CS degree and you still can't even spell derivative. I think there are different types of math. There's like the more like analytical type math, and then there's the more like geometric type shit. And I feel like that is what trig is. And I feel like it's more creative versus analytical brains, and I'm definitely a more creative brain. You have to know math if you want to be an ML engineer. Not planning on being an ML engineer. But, fair enough. Your favorite math is the one with the proofs. Pumpkin, that means you're a straight up math nerd. I don't understand the proofs. So technically, I studied philosophy in college. Technically, math is just quantified logic. And what is philosophy? It's logic. It's logic, baby. So I actually did proofs without the math part. Did not understand a damn thing. Like I did to pass the test, and I did pass the test. Couldn't tell you what I learned in deductive logic. That's what it is. You did Calc 3 in college, and it was one of your harder classes because you had to turn in your homework assignments using this programming language. So half the time, you're trying to figure out the programming language over the actual math content. Wow. You're from the Midwest, and you do not say what. What do you mean? You never thought you'd use vector calculus again, but here we are. Is this vector calculus? Isn't the proof where you have to prove if something is true or not, like prove this triangle is similar to the other one? Yeah. I think you would like deductive logic. Look it up. Jackton, thanks for the follow. This was back when electrical engineering was the cool major to have, before the computer science major revolution. Well, to be fair, I never thought I would be an engineer. I thought like engineers were like the super analytical people who just understood math and science and analytical stuff, and I was really good at literature and spelling, rote memorization, art, and here I am, being a software engineer. But I decided at a certain point it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Like, we all have talents and stuff, but most of it can just be built up via practice and skills that way, It doesn't really matter. But, like, we second tried this thing, so that was pretty cool. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Have you guys listened to their new album? It's really good. I'm basically Dr. Barbara Oakley. I don't know if I'd go that far. I still do prefer, like, artsy stuff. I was looking for some art on my desk. There's no art, just papers everywhere. I don't think I'm a very clean or orderly person. I think I gotta clean more. The new LP is awesome. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked their new album a lot. You always thought computer science was the bane of your existence, and here you are, trying to go into web dev. Is web dev not computer science? You wish you were good at literature, math, and philosophy. You can do math and music. Those are interesting combinations there. I actually am shit at philosophy, because philosophy is analytical. I did philosophy, though, because I felt welcomed there, and I wanted to learn how to argue better, and I didn't because I didn't understand it, but I wanted to. I was just in this major with these just freaking brilliant people. They were so smart. Whoa. Hi. Hey, thanks to follow Bob for the sub. Whoa, just caught that. Anyway, philosophy majors are brilliant. I'm not unintelligent, but I was not on that level. And I think a good amount of it was I was like, I just don't care enough. Because I think, all right, soapbox. I think the understanding of what philosophy is in pop culture versus what it actually is not the same thing. People think that philosophy is just like, what is the meaning of life? and like, does God exist? And those things are philosophy. They definitely are. But it's so much more procedural and analytical and logical than that. It's like, given that God is a fish and there are oceans, then God swims in the ocean. You know, like, it's like stuff like that. Or like, if people make an argument being like a logical like argument where there are certain premises that lead to a conclusion, like, where you argue with the argument is you say that premise is wrong, or those premises don't lead to the conclusion. All hail fish god. Yes, it does sound like proofs, because it is. Because philosophy is logic. It's literally logic. One of my favorite things in philosophy was the humility, though, where someone could be like, God is a fish god, you know, whatever. Because God is a fish and God lives in the sea, and therefore God lives in the sea, and I don't know, you know, whatever. It's not a very good argument. No one quote me on that. But, like, maybe person A would be like, I actually don't think God is a fish god. I think God is a bird god, because why wouldn't God be a bird god? God is a bird, not a fish. And these are my reasons for saying that. And then person who originally had the fish god argument could be like, wow, those conclusions follow logically from those premises. Yep, God is a bird. You know? And like that sort of like humility where you're willing to be wrong when persuaded logically, top tier. I can't like actually argue, but top tier. So philosophy is math. Got it. No. Math is philosophy. Math is quantified logic. Math is logic with numbers in it. Philosophy is logic. Math is the child of philosophy. This seems why law schools would love philosophy majors. One of the top majors for getting into law is philosophy. Yeah. God is a fish, Rufio. God is not a fish. God is a bird. Understanding the nature of knowledge is rad. Applying it is way more fun. I actually agree. You know some people who took classes from Barbara Oakley? That's cool. Behind the scenes mini docs with Mike and Emily working on Linkin Park tracks in the studio are so fun. I'll have to check them out. I haven't seen them. Yeah, that's my soapbox about philosophy as a philosophy major 5 years ago. Does Khan Academy agree with that definition? The bird god definition, or which definition are we talking about? That's another thing about philosophy. Not that anyone wants to hear me rant about philosophy. Philosophy is also at its core agreeing on definitions. So for example, if I said that God can fly and you said that God can swim, the next question should be, wait a second, how do you define God? And if I'm like, well, God has wings and God has a beak, and I'm like, oh, my definition of God is that God has fins and scales and whatever, you know? Our definitions of God aren't the same. So we need to agree upon a mutually agreed upon definition in order to argue further about the nature of fish, bird, God. I'm not sure where I got the fish, bird, God thing. I don't know where that came from. Forgive me. But a lot of times when people are arguing with each other, they're not arguing even about the same thing because they don't have a mutually agreed upon definition. I love how fast we went from how to convert a string to all hail fish god. Stop it. It's not fish god, it's bird god. We like birds here. Birds, birds, birds. Let's just talk about philosophy for the rest of the stream. This is hella interesting. I'm glad you think so. I feel like I'm actually running out of things to say about philosophy rants, but really, if you ever are having and let's define argument, shall we? Which is not like, you suck, Bob. You like fish gods, you know? That's not what we're talking about when we say argument. We're talking about like, I believe that God is a bird because blah 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 blah, you know? And then be like, well, I disagree with God having wings because blah 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 blah. PureB gonna ask GPT to simulate 1,000 fights between fish god and bird god. Do it. But when you're arguing with people, make sure you have agreed upon definitions. It won't always work because it has to be like a mutually agreed upon, like, we're going to talk through this. And some people don't want to talk through things and they just want to believe in fish god. And that sucks, and there's not a lot you can do about that. But if you do have someone engaging with you, have mutually agreed upon definitions. When a job interviewer asks me about fish gods and philosophy after the coding challenge, I'll know to thank you. You know what? This probably would have a job in tech. This is pure Rufio here. They're like, wait, thank you for interviewing with me today. What does binary have to do with the nature of God? I'd be like, well, since you asked, and then they will have regrets. Fish god and bird god. Fish god does sound cooler, but birds are cooler than fish, according to logic. Right, gotta check my phone, make sure the car thing isn't ready. It's not. Cool. Now that we've established the nature of God, let's send this to the GitHub. So it looks like we never pushed 1028, so let's backdate it. All right, git status, git add cc 2025 1028. Now if we look at git status again, you can see that this one is not staged and this one is. We're just gonna make this just a little bigger. What about the fallacy things? Yes, fallacies Pumpkin, you just want to talk about philosophy, don't you? Fallacies are non-truth preserving, like, arguments. So, to be a truth-preserving argument, it has to be structured in a logical way that ensures that the premise leads to the conclusion and, And a fallacy doesn't, because it is not logically sound. So, if you use logical fallacies when you argue an argument, you are not preserving the truth nature of the argument, and your argument is not logically sound, and the premises do not, like the conclusion does not follow from the premises, and basically what you're saying is just bullshit if you're trying to be truthful. Now, in things like law, not shitting on law. I'm not shitting on law. They don't care as much about truth value all the time as much as they do arguing with rhetoric, which can use things like fallacies and whatnot. Pumpkin is pulling the same shit you did with your teacher and distracting them. You know what? No one wants to talk to me about this stuff, so it's working. I actually talk about philosophy almost never. I never talk about philosophy anymore. I don't know. Once I graduated, I was like, well, that was good. Anyway, I'm gonna do other things now. But I actually, the first class I ever took in philosophy was logic, and it was like trying to learn what like logical fallacies were and do like base level proofs sort of thing, where you're ensuring that there are premises that lead to a conclusion, and then also wait a second, I forgot what I was saying. Premises, conclusion, and pointing out fallacies, and just like making sure you're being as truth preserving as you can when you're making an argument. But I was an 18-year-old and I didn't understand it. So to this day, that's about all I can really say about fallacies. They aren't good, and you can look up what they are. And like coding, you can memorize them so you can identify them when people are talking. And then you can make people really mad when you're like, that's a straw man fallacy. You are not being truth preserving. And they'll be like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, shut the fuck up, I don't think it'll be very popular if you do that. But you could do that, knowing what common fallacies are. You can also memorize common argumentative structures. Like there's something called a hypothetical syllogism, which, if I remember correctly, we're just going to look it up. I think I remember. Syllogism. You ready to see philosophy? Here it is, everyone. And now you know partially why Rufio is a software engineer, because coding is also logic. Watch. If P, then Q. P, therefore Q. If God is a fish, then God swims. God is a fish, therefore God swims. That is preserving the truth nature all the way through the argument. It is logically sound. It is proved to have a certain truth value. And you can memorize things like this and you can use them in an argument. Now, where someone could logically argue with this is, well, God is not a fish. Like P is not the case, you know? And then you can talk about the nature of God. Still not sure how the fish, I don't know. Where did that come from, Rufio? What are some fallacies? Well, I mentioned one called the straw man fallacy. You got a thing at noon, but you're here for the 7 minutes you can be. Well, welcome. We're ranting about philosophy. It's not blowing people up, everyone. So, if they just had, okay. So, person 1 asserts proposition X. Person 2 argues against a similar but a different argument. So, it would be trying to see how we could do fish God with Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. If you ever just want to look up philosophical shit, this is the place to go to, everyone. I'm gonna just drop this in chat so everyone can have that forever. Strawman. This might not work out for us. Fallacies. It occurs when an opponent's point of view is distorted in order to make it easier to refute. So they could say that industrialization is the cause of global warming. They might say, well, actually, this is too fancy. Another thing, philosophy is so hard to understand. My brain is shutting off just reading this. But like, I don't even know if I'm gonna do this correctly. But if we're gonna go off the fish God thing, I'd be like, God is a fish, therefore God swims. Or God, if God is a fish, then God swims. God is a fish, therefore God swims. And someone could be like, look at me, I'm the ranty math teacher now. I'm gonna stop ranting if you guys keep making fun of me for it. We can go back to, oh, you know what? You guys aren't even looking at what I'm looking at. I'm so sorry. This is what I'm looking at. Sorry. This is the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. But I'm gonna stop ranting about it and go back to a coding thing if you keep making fun of me. A straw man would be, God can't be a fish because fish are not omniscient of the sky. It could be. I can't even come up with a good, like I said, I never really learned the fallacies, but it would be something like, well, God isn't really a fish because gods can't be fish. It's like, no, that's not even what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing that gods can't be fish. I'm saying if God is a fish, then God swims. God is a fish, therefore God swims. You know, it's like God can't be a fish because God is the supremest being that ever beinged. You know, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually what it is. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Like I said, when I learned fallacies, I was 18 and just a baby, and I never really understood it. So, but if you do want to just melt your mind a little bit, I would really recommend coming to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and you could totally read about fallacies because you love pain. What I really should do is I should pop this whole fish god thing into Gemini. I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do it on my computer because I don't want everyone to see what I'm doing on Gemini, which is not anything nefarious. It's just literally everything about my life. If God is a fish, then God swims. You got this example from chat. You say, I think we should have some school rules about phones used so students pay attention in class. Someone replies, so you want to ban phones forever and turn school into a prison? That's ridiculous. Yeah, that sounds good. We're still going to do the fish god one just because I'm on a fish god roll. God is a fish, therefore God swims. This is my argument. What would be a good straw man of this argument? I feel bad for the robot. It says that a straw man could argue that I'm literally claiming God is a biological fish. It says that you're saying that God is literally a carp or a salmon. Or they could twist the meaning of swimming, or something like that. I don't think Gemini is having my shit. It's like, well, obviously they could strawman your argument by saying that God is not a fish. Look, I get it. God, no, very few people believe in God being a fish, Gemini. I understand. I myself believe that God is a bird. And just so everyone knows, this is all in good fun. You can believe what you want about the nature of God. We're just here to code. All right. So we've staged this. All right. Now we're going to say get commit dash date. So this is how we backdate. We put in the date we want, which is 10/28. And then we're going to do a message and we're going to say add coding challenge for 10/28/25. Right. And I just want to pull up my GitHub so that we can see that I have nothing on that day, which is right here. All right. Now we're going to say git push. Yes. Now we're going to reload this page. Hello. And oh my double Q, it is there. Now we're going to push git status. We're going to do git add all just because we can. Now there's only one. We're going to say git commit, and then we're just going to do -m add coding challenge for 11/19/25 because we're just doing it for today. Now we're going to say git push. Yes. Gotta fix that. Refresh. There we go. So you're just saying God is a random tuna flopping around the ocean and can't do anything except swim? That's ridiculous. How could a tuna create the universe? That's what you got from chat? That's a good one. And that's a good one because it's like, I'm not saying that God is just a random tuna flopping around the ocean and can't do anything except swim. I'm only asserting that if God is a fish, then God can swim. That's the only thing I'm saying in the whole argument. So for this straw man fallacy to just go off like crazy, be like, oh, so all God can do is swim? That's all God can do? And God being a fish? Like, how could a fucking tuna create the universe? Like, it has to at least be a salmon. Recruiters hate this one trick. This is how you're getting hired, everyone. Oh. All right. Let's see. You misrepresented someone's argument to make it easier to attack. By exaggerating, misrepresenting, or just completely fabricating someone's argument, it's much easier to present your own position as being reasonable. But this kind of dishonesty or non-truth preserving argument serves to undermine honest, rational debate. So, after Will said we should put more money into health and education, Warren responded by saying he's surprised that Will hates our country so much that he wants to leave it defenseless by cutting military spending. Right, and that makes sense because it's like Will says put more money into health and education, not that he hates the country and not that he wants to cut military spending, you know. It doesn't even follow from the argument at all. It's why it's a fallacy. It's why it's bullshit. It sounds like Strawman loses the plot. Strawman loses the plot, but deliberately. It tries to make you look ridiculous by being like, wow, you're unreasonable. Like, what is this bullshit you're saying? And you're like, nah, I'm just saying that if God is a fish, then God swims. Surely everyone here can agree that if God is a fish, then God swims. God is a fish, therefore God swims. You freaking love salmon. Now you're hungry. Sadly, I hate salmon. Fun fact, I hate seafood. I can eat like fried fish and everything else is just like Like, seafood tastes like the ocean, and I don't like how that tastes. It just tastes bad. I just don't like it. That's a hell of a LinkedIn message idea. Could you imagine reaching out to a recruiter and be like, so recruiter, what do you think about the nature of God? If God is a fish, wouldn't God then swim? Here I am talking about how fish god, or how bird goddess is over fish god, but I can't shut up about fish god. Sushi is amazing. I just like sushi also has nori on it, and nori tastes like the ocean, and I don't, it's just so yucky. Like, but I understand other people like it. I kind of wish I liked it. It eliminates a really large amount of food that I could potentially eat, but I just never have. Cooked fish does taste very fishy. You're saying that uncooked fish doesn't? Really? I'll be honest, I never had the raw fish. It sounds really gross. I have had ceviche, though. And I did not love the texture of that. Oh, if you're getting hungry for salmon. How many people here are going to go eat like fish after this? You'd eat your God? That's what you're saying? You would eat your God. There you go. There's a straw man for us. Baked up with some lemon and butter. Oh my hell. God provides. God provides through the sacrifice of God's own body. I'll tell you, I'm not eating fish after this. Totally off topic. What am I coding? And then we can go back to eating godfish. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say you're off topic here. I think you are on topic here. I think you're on topic here. God is God. Why do you think God is called God? God rhymes with cod, therefore God is a fish. What we were coding was, here, wait a second, let me just drop this coding challenge in the chat. We finished it a while ago, which is why I don't want to say that's why we got off on the fish god rant, because that's not why. I don't know how we got here, but we added two numbers together. Hey, zombie, thanks for follow. We added two numbers together, and then we converted them to a binary. Do you want to see our solution? Because you could also do the problem and not see it, and I don't want to necessarily spoil it now that we've done it. But if you do want to see it, I'm happy to work through it. I remember how we got here, actually, because we were talking about the toString method using a base number, and that got into math theory, which then got into philosophy, because philosophy is tangentially related to math. And then Pumpkin got me distracted on logical fallacies. That's how we got here. Who would have thunk? No one can really explain where fish god came from. Philosophical wander. This is peak philosophy. Everyone should try and take a class at their local university so they can argue about the nature of God's fishiness. Oh, side tangent though. I went to Costco last week and I was like, I'm gonna get some tilapia because tilapia doesn't taste very fishy. And there's like a 10-pound bag and it was $50. And I was like, that's all right. I will never eat fish again. $50? I don't know why, but I just thought it would be like $30. What do you mean it's $50? I don't need to eat meat ever. I'm fine never doing that. But I'm trying to eat more meat. I was vegetarian for a long time, and now I'm trying to eat protein or whatever. Anyway, I'm just mad. And also, like, some beef was also $50, and I was like, bruh, is this tariffs? You're a vegetarian for a long time too. I stopped being a vegetarian because, hey Root, thanks for follow. I went to Indonesia again for the first time in 10 years, and my host family was like, So you're vegetarian, but not when you're here. And the first thing they fed me was beef, and I ate it, and I wanted to throw up. Like, there's just something about not eating meat for such a long time where it's like repulsive. Then I eventually got used to it, and then I didn't have the energy to be a vegetarian because it is more work than not, sort of, depending on if you're making meat at home, which I hate cooking meat. What do you do with all the grease? Yuck. Anyway, so I was a vegetarian for 6 years. Was fish god part of the syllabus in Philosophy 101? Now that you ask, yes, it was part of my philosophy of religion class. Glad to be caught up. What language am I coding in? JavaScript. Love fish, though we use ZAR by US, $50 a week by us is R800, meaning 1 week or a week and a half of food. That's wild. Where are you from? Yeah, it's so much money. I did not buy the fish. Decided not to worship God by eating fish. Sometimes you just want pasta with no meat. Sometimes you just want to eat bean pasta so you're getting protein and not dealing with the meat grease. Genuinely, what do you do with the meat grease? I poured it into an old glass jar and threw it in the trash, and I was like, surely this is not good to do. Like, what do you do with it? Anyway, the tariffs took away our tilapia. Used to buy a lot of food for $100, but now the same amount of food is about $300. That's it. We're not eating ever again. Just pour it straight in the trash. But what if it's hot? Wouldn't it melt the bag? And then, okay, so this is how little I actually cook meat at home. All right, so how long after you make a meat can it be in the fridge? You're from South Africa. Oh, very cool. You can't put it down the drain. Yes, please do not put it down the drain, everyone. Don't do it. It will congeal. It will block your pipes. Do not pour grease down drains. Also, don't put if you have a garbage disposal, which is like a sink blender for those not in the US, don't put large food particles in it because it will get blocked. We use the meat grease to clog our arteries. You're a brand new cook at 33 years old. Meat stays good about 4 days. I suspected as much, which is partially why meat sucks. How do you eat something for 2 weeks without it going bad if it has meat in it? You can do it if it doesn't have meat in it. Grease and rice are super bad for drains. I didn't know that about rice, actually. Most meat can stay in the freezer for over 7 years and still be edible. That's crazy. Whether they use meat glue. What is meat glue? You freeze portions. You can't do 2 weeks with the meat. Yeah. Freeze and reheat. I do that. I have some silicone cubes and stuff, but sometimes I get lazy. Beans are so much easier and cheaper. But I'm trying to eat less carbs because my dietitian said that was probably good. And beans have carbs, guys. It was actually devastating. Beans are my primary protein source. Now we're talking about meat. Where did that come from? Let's do a coding challenge. Just make portions like crock pot barbecue chicken burritos for 30 burritos. Put 4 in the fridge at a time. Okay, but so for chicken, how do you get over the texture? Because it's jiggly and so gross. Meat glue is what they use to stick parts of meat together when they don't have full pieces of meat. Wow, I never heard of that. So it's stuck chunks of different meat together. Wow. Meat glue if glue made from meat. You're good at definitions. Indeed, you are. Meat glue sounds... Oh, also side tangent. I hate it when people say Meatspace. They're talking about real life. That's what Meatspace means. But it's ew. Why would you say that? It's like saying flesh space. It's like calling human beings meat. Why wouldn't you just say real life? I know cyberspace. What about real space? Why can't we say real space? Meatspace means real life. So there's cyberspace, which is the internet, and there's Meatspace, which is real life. And freaking fuck the person who ever came up with that term, because it's disgusting. Don't say Meatspace. Yuck. Ew. Just say real life. Or say like person space. Why not person space? It's just space. I hate Meatspace. Agreed. I also hate Meatspace. Yuck. Why have I said it this much at this point? Cooked chicken wouldn't be jiggly, but chicken before it's cooked is jiggly. So how do you deal with it when it's the jiggly part? You think I had a bad case of chicken? The best is pulled, so crockpot chicken is fall apart. So say you get the chicken breast, so then you like open it carefully so you don't touch it, and then you just dump it in the crockpot. And then also I worry about germs because meat has germs, and then do you have to sanitize everything, all of it? I mean, probably, yes, but with bleach? I don't know. You prefer flesh reality. Get out of here. Ew, why? Flesh reality. I actually like it a little more than Meatspace, but flesh, meat, not a fan. Brother, ooh, what's that, brother? Meatspace? Hi, Lark. We're complaining about Meatspace. People saying real life is Meatspace. Maybe people don't say it anymore, but I've heard it. You don't think your chicken should be jiggly? No. We're talking about it when it's not cooked. When you get it from the store and it's in the styrofoam tray and it's jiggly, you know, like it's slimy. It feels like it's just raw chicken has like a you know, it's not like bad chicken, it's just how it is. Gloves. Oh, nitrile food safe gloves are the only way you can deal with raw meat. That's a good idea. You'll now be referring to coding conference as flesh spaces for developers. Ew. Make your own conference and be like, welcome to Flesh Space for coders. The conference Flesh Space. What are we coding? Also, hot take, you don't like chicken. Me neither, actually. When I started eating meat again, birds taste like they've got like a weird aftertaste. Like every bird, like chicken and turkey are the only birds I eat, but it's like this gross ass aftertaste, and you can get rid of it if you put enough stuff, like seasoning, or like you soak it in something. But other than that, like, not a fan of chicken or turkey. Not a fan of the poultry. As for what we're doing with coding, we were coding a long time ago. We did this one. We did this. So we have a set of numbers, and then we add them together and convert them to binary. And we did that. We made a variable where we added the numbers together, and then we did toString. Oh shit, guys, toString 2. And this number led to a very long side tangent. Anyway, we gotta re-upload this. Get status, because I forgot the 2. Git add, git commit. Forgot the base in toString. Git push. Alright. Do not wash chicken. Just go straight from the package to cooking. Yeah, but what about, like, do you sanitize the fridge where it sat? Do you know that raw chicken is actually yellow, and so is normal meat before they fake the red? Normal meat is yellow? Really? Straight to the crock pot, just be precise. Clean with any Myers cleaner, rubbing alcohol, or generic soap and water. Okay. I just have a fear of cooking meat, y'all. I do. What if I just get pre-cooked meat? Don't put bleach on chicken. I meant bleach on the counters. Are you saying that God has a gross aftertaste? If God is a bird, then yes, God has a gross poultry aftertaste. Who's eating God's, guys? All of us, apparently. You always jump for the beef anyways. Red sauce or pasta is your daily go-to. Am I sick? Yeah, I'm a little sick. Not very sick, but just a little bit. You were sick last week. Your throat almost killed you. I'm sorry to hear that. Your time at the butchery taught you a lot. Oh, wow. Meat is super good for you, but they fake a lot of stuff to preserve shelf life. Really? Tell us the other meat secrets. Tell us more. We learned about meat glue and that they're faking the colors. I know that, like, beef oxidizes because the outside is brown, and if you scrape it, it's red or whatever. Chicken from the store, they have little plastic bags, like in the veggie section. Those are for meat. So you can wrap it when you pick it up, then bag it separate from everything else, then leave it in the little plastic thing when you fridge it. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you all for your very adult tips about how to have meat around without it being so gross. But so then with the meat grease, then you let it cool down and then you pour it into the trash, but then it will have solidified. So then you have to scrape it into the trash because you can't pour it when it's hot or it will melt the bag. You too are terrified around meat. You're working through it. Just very relatable. It's gross. Beans are better. Beans are better. Except they have carbs. God, I'm so sad about that. Oh, I never did this, guys. Sorry. Should we do another, what's it called? Let me see. Did they message about the car? No. That means we can just keep going. No beans. I went to a dietitian and I was like, I would like to eat healthy. And then we talked about how, like, there are lots of healthy foods, obviously, but in terms of, like, maintaining, like, a healthy weight or trying to lose weight to get to a healthy weight, like, there are certain things that spike your insulin, which puts your body into fat storing mode. And the thing that spikes your insulin is carbs. So if you're trying to, like, lose weight or, like, maintain a healthier weight, then you don't have no carbs, but you have less carbs, and then you eat a lot more protein, and you eat a lot more vegetables and fiber, and, you know, things like that. So, I mean, obviously this is not advice for everyone, but beans have carbs. If you cook the carbs and put it in the fridge and eat it after the carbs become resistant, what do you mean resistant? You just make sure there's a good layer of trash in there when you cook. Otherwise, it's a PB&J night. It does become brown because of the reaction with oxygen. A lot of meat in America contains different species of over 80 animals at best, which isn't stuck together using meat glue. Afro, are you trying to get me to never eat meat again? Which is why you fully recommend farmers markets. Sadly, farmers markets in America are so expensive. Weirdly expensive. Like, you spend $20 on a loaf of bread. It's like, all of your favorite food is carbs. Yeah. Calorie density is the big thing. Like, carbs, alcohol, and fats all have really high calorie density. You want to be at a 500 calorie deficit for the most part, and essentially you want to eat at least 1,500 calories a day. It won't spike insulin as hard if it sits in the fridge. I like that. What sorts of beans are my favorite? I don't really have a preference. They all are created equal in my brain. I love them all. So I come from a culture in America, subculture, the Mormon culture. And for a little while around, like, the turn of the century, they went into, like, a food storage phase, okay? Where they were told to, like, stock up on the food storage. And then they did, and then they never used it because they never needed to. And then this led to some people in my parents' neighborhood putting, like, 50-year-old wheat on the curb amongst beans from, like, 1990. And my trash disposal of a father was like, and so it ended up at my parents' house, and my brother was trying to distribute it. So I have, like, 20, 30-year-old beans at my house right now. What are sausages? Love sausage. Favorite meat. Love it. Farmer's market here is cheap, but if you buy in bulk, else is expensive. Oh, if you buy it in bulk, it's cheap. Yeah, I have been to a farmer's market once because I was like, I cannot afford this. Like, I understand supporting people and they need to make a living wage. I get it. I just don't have enough money to do it. America needs a lot of healing. The thing spiking insulin and most of those problems is chemicals and preservatives in food. All beans are equal. Then eat sausages with some veggies like tomatoes, peppers, etc. I do. I got a big bag of I don't want to, like, breakfast sausage patties. in my fridge, and I ate them with eggs for a long time. I've been on my borscht kick, but yes, I do that. Ground pork plus maple flavor plus sage is an awesome combo. Plus sage, huh? Sage. People cook with sage? You've been eating less meat this year and you don't know why. Preferences, maybe. I primarily just eat the breakfast patties, the sausage patties. Rub sage is super yummy in sausage. Really? Like the bundled sage? Or do you get it from like a store? Also, if you're in America, go to Indian stores for Indian supermarkets for spices, way cheaper. Farmers markets are supposed to be a lot cheaper. They're biased, but our government is fighting it because they want us to be buying stuff they produce. That's dumb. Boo South Africa. Not that I can really speak. Boo America right now as well. So we hate capitalism. Agreed, boo. Man, we really just are doing all the side tangents today, aren't we? It's a jar of spice, like basil, paprika, but fresh sage. The bundles of fresh leaves are way better. Fresh? At the stores? Got into meat and politics. And philosophy and God. You love tangent, especially the side ones. But surely all of you came here for the coding, not the tangents. Regex validate pin code. Gods, Lark, you missed a hell of a side tangent. We talked about the nature of God, and everyone here agreed that God was a fish, except for me. I fought really hard to argue that God was a bird. That's what happened, right, everyone? You shop at Kroger. The fresh herbs are in the veggie cooler. Oh, all right, Kroger. You're here for the bird god. All right, everyone except for Pumpkin and I were bird god stands. You came for coding, but you're a fan of talking about current affairs. God save the fish god. God is a burp. Hell yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. I always have fun on stream. Came for the code, stayed for the fish god. I can guarantee no one else on this whole platform right now is talking about a fish god. Well, maybe someone's playing Witcher 1. There's actually a fish god spirit of Vodunoi in that game, and maybe they're talking about it there. In which case, there would be one person probably, but that the likelihood of that is not very big. Not a big likelihood. But if you guys like the flavor of beets, try borscht. It's freaking good. I will ask me for the recipe. I will give you a recipe. It's very good. This is reminiscent of Doug's code adventures that always go way off the rails. Favorite kind of content. I don't know Doug. I'll have to check them out. What's borscht? Borscht is beet soup. Oh my gosh. Pools, hot tubs, and beaches? What do you mean coding streams? Yes, Alex, I've been extolling the virtue of borscht. For everyone who doesn't know what borscht is, it's beet soup. So it's got beets in it, it's got potatoes, it's got cabbage, it's got carrots, and you eat it with like sour cream or with like plain yogurt, and it is so good. It's so good. The only time I didn't like borscht was when I was in Poland, and I was like, oh my god, this restaurant has borscht in it. There's no fucking like I'm gonna eat some borscht in this Polish restaurant, and so I did, and they gave me like beet broth with 4 tiny dumplings in it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, worst borscht I've ever had. Like, I like my borscht hearty. I like it to have the veggies. I like it to have the sour cream. It was such a disappointment. You're down to try borscht? What did I put on my lips? Aquaphor. Vaseline. All right. How do I share the recipe, everyone? Let me see. Everyone wants to eat borscht now that we're talking about borscht. I'm a fan. I want everyone to eat it. It's really, really good. But if you hate it, don't tell me. I'll be sad. Like I was when my family was like, this tastes gross. And I will say, if you don't like how beets taste, you probably won't like it. Is it better than chapstick? I think so. I have a suspicion that all chapstick is a farce. Chapstick just makes your lips drier and worse. And I've been using Aquaphor for years. I have a big ass tub of it. Ever since I was on Accutane, which is a really intense acne drug. You love beets. You would love borscht. Anyway, my brother got this really large container of Aquaphor, as it does, melted it, and then got these little like plastic chapstick things, and then poured it in, and then he gave me some, and it's great. Now it's transportable. Sorry. I'm not that sick. I just sound like it. I'm really feeling quite good, actually. I could even sleep and breathe through my nose last night. What if I put this in like straight up a paste bin? That would be cool. How coder are you? Well, to share recipes with your chat, you make a paste bin. All right. I haven't done a paste bin in 5 million years. So, how do I share it? You're gonna head off. You must attempt streaming. Well, good luck. I'll check you out after I'm done. You save your recipes in Markdown like a nerd, so paste bin works awesome. Okay, wait a second. I want to share this, but I don't actually have the sharing. Wait a second. Oh, I think I figured it out. Borscht. Rufio. Borscht. It's actually Rufio's friend's borscht, not mine. One day we'll use get for recipes. Pure request when we add ingredients. Alright. Borscht recipes for everyone. Thanks, Pastebin. Let there be borscht. Let everyone have it. Please, let me know how you like it. Don't, lie to me. It's really okay if you don't like it. But if you do, please let me know. This one has optional beef in it, and I did put, I had cooked some, ground beef and frozen it, and I put it in, and I actually think it's worse it's worse with meat in it. But you can put meat in it. Everyone's thanking me. Thank you. If you actually make this, that means we share a love of borscht in common. And that is pretty cool. Have Ukrainian approved this recipe? Do you? What's your borscht recipe? Share it. I will make your recipe too. I am unsure where this one specifically comes from, since a decent amount of countries do actually make borscht, you know? Is it pretty traditional? What happened is, I think it's technically Russian. Sorry. But my friend in college's mom lived in Russia and apparently came back with this recipe. And then when we were in college, she was like, hey, you want to make borscht? And I was like, what the fuck is borscht? And then so we made it, and I was like, I need your recipe. So I got it. You're too lazy to translate them. Fair enough. So I'm unsure if it's pretty traditional. Olex, do you think this is a pretty traditional composition of borscht? You'd think it would have more beats than it does, but it doesn't actually. It's my goal to learn the Slavic language. I love the way Slavic languages sound. I think they sound so lovely. You've been following for a while, but this is your first time watching. Little did you know today you'd come home with learning about coding, fish god, and a recipe for borscht. I would say that all my streams are this way, but I don't think they are. I just must be on a different wavelength today. Pretty traditional, but there's 1,000 recipes, and everyone says that theirs is the most traditional one. I'm not going to say mine is the best borscht one. I will say it's a better one than the one I had in Poland. I haven't had any others besides that. I think it's really yummy, though. Like when my family had it and they were like, this is not good. And then I was like, oh man, maybe I'm wrong. And then I made it again and I ate it and I was like, nope, this is still the shit. This is so good. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Come on now. And that's why you love these streams. I really don't think I go that tangent-y normally, do I? Is this a triangle? Philosophy. What is a triangle? Implement a function that accepts 3 integer values a, b, and c. The function should return true if a triangle can be built with with the size of a given length, and false in any other case. Wait. What qualifies it? What Why can't a triangle be 1, 2, and 3? What qualifies the values that make a triangle a triangle? I was in trig, but somehow I don't know this. Trig is triangles. What the hell, Rufio? Can anyone explain that to me? Because I don't want to attempt this if I don't even know why certain numbers can't be the side of a triangle. Math is for nerds. There's a math formula. That sounds like trig. A math formula that we do in wait, I don't know what I'm talking about. In coding, that's what I was gonna say. Wait a second. I wanna show you guys one of my favorite memes of all time. You know this one. C to the tooth power, the biggest number needs to be less than or equal to the sum of the other two numbers to the tooth power. There's a different way to say the thing that I'm saying, but how do I do it? Two squared, that's it. To the tooth power. What the hell, Rufio? To the tooth power. Oh yeah, I remember what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my photos so I can show you this beautiful meme. To the tooth power. I think it has got a ring to it. Is the Pythagorean theorem? Oh no. Who knew this would be a math stream? Hi, Kitsune. Welcome, Raiders. What were you doing in chat? Or not in chat, in stream. Hey, everyone here, go check out Sassy Kitsune. I will do it after stream. Thanks for the raid. Tell me about what you were up to. We are searching for a certain meme. We were maybe gonna do something math somewhat related, but I had to find the meme first. Hey Pay, thanks for the follow. You're out to make new friends. All right. Is that what you were doing on stream? Yeah, everyone give them a follow, please. Okay, I think I have it. I'm so looking forward to sharing this to you guys eventually. I don't know why this is taking so long. One of your cats is trying to give you CPR. Are they now? All right, here it is. Are you ready? Well, thanks for the sub, KE. You were streaming some Rocket League and raging. How am I? I'm so good. We have gone on so many tangents, but we're coding theoretically. But also, like, is this not like glorious? Also, what is Rocket League? Is Rocket League like a battle royale? A first-person shooter, right? Perfect. Thank you. God, there's so many things where I'm just like, and I just want to like spam this. And so, there was something I said that I felt like merited this, but I don't know what it was. A Rocket League is like a card game where you hit the ball with a car. Wait, really? Is that really what it is? Car soccer. What an interesting premise for a game. Car soccer. Why is it called Rocket League? Very weird game. We love it for that. So like you have two soccer teams or two football teams and your car's driving around and hitting each other. How's it going? It's so good. We're so far away from coding right now, but that's okay. We're looking at Rufio's favorite meme ever. Well, I'll have to check it out. I don't play sports games, but it sounds kind of silly, and I do love silliness. We were debating whether or not we should do this math problem. It's the second one in the series. The first one's called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars. That's a fire name. It's very not sports. At high level, it gets sportsy. All right, I have to try it. Ah, yes, math. I know of math. The thing is, I don't like math, and somehow we've really kind of gotten into math theory today. And then someone in chat, I can't remember who it was a long time ago. They were like, I know, this is a Pythagorean theorem. Oh my gosh, I think you're right. I think this is the Pythagorean theorem. If you told like teenage Rufio that she'd be voluntarily hanging out with her friends and doing math problems, she'd been like, you're tripping, because that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Who would voluntarily do a math problem? And here I am. I don't have friends except Chloe, but she won't download. Chloe, why would you download it? And you thought you were bad at naming stuff. What are you talking about? That's a fire name. Pythagoras would, apparently. You know, Pythagoras is so... Did you know he had like a bean cult? Look it up. The Pythagorean cult. It had like something to do with beans. You got electrocuted trying to unplug your thing. Wow. Careful, is that why there was cat CPR? Beans for the bean god. Now there's a bean god. All roads lead back to beans. I swear to God I'm telling the truth. I swear to fish god. Pythagorean bean cult. See, look, Pythagoras' curious relationship with beans. I'm not just saying stuff. Believes that beans constrain human souls and could lead to spiritual impurity or reincarnation to undesirable forms. You thought I was lying about the bean cult, and here I am telling you the truth about the bean cult. A cult that forbade eating beans. Reject modernity. Embraces beans. You gave up the fish god. Bean god is clearly superior. So human beings was true all along? When I was a little girl, I couldn't figure out why everyone would call us human beings. I was like, we're not beings. Why are we calling us human beings? Beings. But it sounded the same to me. You're doing some OCR coding before stream and then gave up because you're too lazy. Stop sacrificing beans. Yeah, Pythagorean bean cult. You're going to get off of the stream today. You're going to be like, God is a fish. Pythagoras had a bean cult. And if you do base 2 and toString, it will transfer things to binary, which is a human being. In Spanish, it's seres vivos o portos vivos. Porotos vivos. Being is ser, being is poroto. Lovely. Living beings. Not that word, not trying to do the math problem, but did you know that Pythagoras was an intellectual from Samos? I didn't know he's from Samos. I know where Samos is because I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. A Pythagorean cult formed around his teachings. Be good, shun evil thoughts and actions, honor family, be forgiving, be thoughtful before speech and action, etc. But also, don't eat meat, he said, and they had a complicated relationship with beans. Abstain from voting with beans. Abstain from beans. The latter absence from beans command was something that many ancient commentators were aware of, and unfortunately no clear reasoning was given us exact reasons behind the prohibition of beans. Aristotle theorized about why Pythagoras did not approve of beans. They were like, he might have been picky, bro. Diogenes, who was the coolest philosopher ever, summarized and said that Pythagoras advised followers to abstain from beans because they are flatulent and partake most of the breath of life, which is flatulence. And besides, it is better for the stomach if they are not taken, and this again will make our dreams in sleep smooth and in trouble. So Pythagoras didn't like gas, maybe? Relationship. It's complicated. So beans are a core part of philosophy. So Rufio is a bean major? Indeed. Reading about Pythagoras' beans, but not about his theorem. Priorities. What else would you read about? People are like, so Pythagoras had a theorem, but like, what was up with this dude and his hatred of beans? Did he get gassy? Did he just not eat enough fiber in his diet that beans made him really gassy? Did he soak the beans before cooking them? Cancelled absence from beans what? Wait a second. What? Either because they are like the genitals or because they're like the gates of Hades. What are we saying? Oh man, this is a real bean hater here. Being a bean major is one of the most prestigious ones out there. I think you mean being a bean major. Beans for the underworld, God. Beans will send you straight to the underworld. Is this what applied math majors are studying? Look, we know that Pythagoras had a theorem. But as a math major, you have to know that you can't eat any more beans. We always learn in Rufio's stream. Man, this is a wild stream. It's a wild stream. This is you can win trivia night with this. Be like, did you know that Pythagoras had a bean cult? Bean stream. She was Indo-Beansian after all. This is even wilder than I remember. They literally opted to take Occam's razor approach and propose a simple solution to the bean dilemma. What if perhaps Pythagoras simply was a picky eater who did not like beans? With this in mind, Lucian imagined Pythagoras in a fantastical afterlife scenario where the Pythagorean founder was struggling to fit in amongst a troop of bean-eating heroes. Lucian wrote, well, then they boiled beans as they usually do when they have won a battle, and had a feast and a long holiday to celebrate the victory. Pythagoras alone did not partake in it. He sat apart without eating, because he loathed beans. Whatever the reason for the bean ban, be it personal taste or health or symbolism, beans unfortunately became intertwined with the legend of Pythagoras' life. Apparently his feelings toward beans were so strong that he died after he refused to escape through a field of beans while being chased by hostile pursuers. What? Alright, everyone has to have this link. Learn more. Beans are to be avoided in all things. Drinking game. 1 drink for every time beans are mentioned in the article. Code borscht beans. Code with borscht with beans. What a steam. Are we now we're like now, what is his name? That one child book writer, Seuss. Code borscht beans. Code with borscht and beans. What a stream. What a stream it could have been, had Pythagoras run through the field, and not, I don't know how to rhyme something about dying. Or Pythagoras would lose steam. There you go. What could have Pythagoras' life have been, had he only been willing to eat beans? Anyway, so, do we do the Pythagorean problem, or do we do something else? Depends if beans are involved, I suppose. Beans aren't. Beans are carbs. Beans are carbs. But I do have, like, 20-year-old beans in my cupboard. They're, like, from 1993. They're literally older than I am. Oh my god, they're, like, 30-year-old. They're more than 30 years old. Aren't Pythagoreans for the right triangles only? I don't even know. Only in Python, in honor of Pythagora. That's why he didn't want to eat his own kind. He said, look, guys, don't eat human beings. Are they good, the 20-year-old Pythagorean cans? Well, they're quite tough, actually. Even if you soak and then cook them. But it's alright. Or it was when I could eat beans. Canned beans is cannibalism. Cannibalism. Confirmed. I don't know. I feel like we have to do this now that we're ranting about Pythagoras, but I actually don't know how to solve it, because I don't understand why this should be false, where this one would be true. Cannibalism, indeed. Can someone explain to me, why would this 1, 2, 3 be false and this would be true? Because then 1 is 1, and 1 is 2, and 1 is 3. That makes sense to me. There's a formula, but it's not the Pythagorean formula. No, I'm too stupid for this. Stupid is a mean word. My family makes fun of me because I really hate that word. They're like, don't say that word around Rufio. She'll get really mad. And I'm like, you know what? You know what? Yes, because it's a mean word. I gotta blow my nose, y'all. Wait a second. Maybe we read the description, but this is the description. Wait. It should return true if a triangle can be built with the sides of a given length, and false in any other case. Must have a surface greater than 0. Let's Google the formula. Formula for determining if sides of triangles are compatible length. An equilateral triangle. A plus B is less than C. It can't be. Wait, isn't that Pythagorean? Oh wait, that's totally what you just said. Triangle inequality must be satisfied. The sum of the lengths of any two sides must be greater than the length of the third side. Okay, no, that actually makes sense. Like you were saying, I just wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to you, and I apologize. Alright, what day should we pretend this was on? We can say maybe it was on August 7th. How about that? CC 2025 0807. Let's do it. Strike it down. And we're gonna copy everything. wrap text, comment it out, and then we're gonna copy the is triangle. Okay, I actually am feeling better now that we've hammered that out. So let's talk about the parameters of this. So we are always going to be given 3 values, right? They will always be above the number 0. So 1 and above. Values will always be numbers. I should do more kata. These are fun. Do it alongside me. One of them had a -5. So, oh yeah. So then that's good to know, because then it would be an automatic no, right? If 0 or below, automatic no. Values will always be numbers. They will always be whole numbers, just because. All right, any other parameters are missing here? Return. It should return a Boolean value. True or false. True if sides of triangle are of compatible lengths. False if anything else. And then let's do some examples, which they gave us a lot of. Console.log is triangle. And then we'll do this one. And then it will be true. We'll copy that 2 more times. I want to choose the -5 one, because that will be false. I actually want to do 4. I want to do one with a 0 in it too. And we'll do this one, which is true. Oh, actually, I just want this. And then we'll do one more. And we'll do a 0. 0, 2, 3. Oh, actually, let's do this one. 1, 2, 9. That would be cool. False. False. Hey, Alan, how are you? You've missed some, you came at a time when we look really productive. I promise we've been this productive the whole time. Just so much coding has been happening. Huh, everyone? We're doing math. Yeah, we don't do tangents here. We're only coding. You're convinced. Excellent. Also, Alan, I think I said this to you in a message, but I liked your VTuber persona. Fish God counts as productive. Shh. Shh. What are you talking about? I don't even know what a fish god is. All right, so we're going to make a function that takes in 3, what are those called? 3 inputs. Fish, what's that? I don't even know what words you're saying. Rufio coding false. Alpha? Shh. Shh. Look. That's a false argument. I'm clearly in the middle of coding. All right. Takes in 3 inputs. And then remember this. I'm just going to put it a little lower because it's quite pivotal to everything that's happening here. So I'm just going to put it right there, okay? Low key, more folks need to understand that unproductive work is all part of doing the work, even when it doesn't look like work. My question with that is, when is it unproductive and when is it doing work? Like, where's the distinction? How far away can you get from doing work where it still counts as work? And is the nature of God too far away from coding in that case, or is that productive work? Is that me being productive? Good luck explaining it to your boss. A plus B. Okay, gotcha. We'll do this. It's greater than C. Plot twist is all the work. Then we have been so busy at work. Everyone, did you hear that? This has been a very productive time for you. You've been so productive. Good job. What is work? Productive equals money, or at least that's what my capitalist overlord preaches at me. What if productive equal to philosophy? All right. So then we are going to add A and B together. And then we are, wait, you know what? No. We are going to look at all of the values, and if any of them are 0 or less, then return false immediately. Glad I like the ASCII bear avatar. Thank you. ASCII. I totally forgot what it was called. Tried learning C++ a year ago. Dropped it completely a few months back. So your answers are mostly way too bad for us. I think you overestimate my skill in coding, Alpha. Leonidas in your name. Are you a philosophy fan? Are you a Greek history fan? I guess Leonidas wasn't a philosopher, was he? Then we're going to add A and B together. We're going to compare the new AB variable in a new variable. Or 300 movies fan? Yeah, exactly. Are you a fan of, like, I don't know, like Sparta? AB variable with C. And if it is less than C, return false. Well, actually, I can see why they did return false just here as a default at the bottom. Because everything returns false unless it meets a very specific condition. Hey, Noah. Thanks for the follow. Did you know you're my 4,800th follower officially? You get that a lot. Use it because your dad's a Leo, so that makes you Leonidas, son of a Leo. I didn't know that's what the suffix meant. Yeah. I was curious to see if I'd hit that this stream. I did. Congratulations, 4,800th follower. You're a smith, so Smith. Are you a smith? You do smithing? Thank you, Lard. Thank all of you. What I want to know is it good to do this false right here? Or should we just, like, get to this point or where it's greater than C, return true, else everything else return false? But then I don't feel like the 0, it still would compare if it's a 0 and stuff, right? You got PTSD and forgot your C++. Your brain no worky right now. 48,000, not 48,000, 4,800. I'm not at 48,000 followers. You'd claim Codesmith if that were a thing. Why not? I feel like this does need to be here, though. If it's greater than C, return true, else return false. You have to check line 22. Sometimes A is the biggest. Wait, so, but A is already bigger than this. So if A or B, all right. If A or B is already bigger than C, then return false. How's that? 4.8 million followers. Easy goal. We'll get there in no time. Imagine teaching and learning Rust and uploading it on YouTube. I feel like I could imagine that. I'm not a good teacher, but yeah. We have 200 more followers till we're at 5K, and then we should do a celebration stream or something. That would be pretty cool. 5K, like that's like half of 10,000. Can you tell I know some math? 5K is a lot. That's a lot of people. And maybe B is the biggest. You might need a new variable to store the biggest one. Well, so it doesn't really matter which is the biggest as long as, as long as if one of these two is bigger than this, then it's automatically false, right? Can you comment a line using the octothorpe in JavaScript? No. It's // Yes, this is JavaScript. I don't know if I put the JavaScript tag. I do not appear to have done that. I apologize. You're definitely welcome here even if you don't do JavaScript, but let me just add that real quick. How is it? It really is a lot, considering 100 years ago, how many people in the entire world had an audience of 5K people? Right. Yeah. The internet's really cool. I mean, there are 30 people here right now. And sometimes I think about that. I was like, what if I was in a room with 30 people? There are 31 including me, right? Like, that's a full room. You know? So 432 is still a valid set of lengths, but it shouldn't be. Wouldn't this eliminate the 432? We see Python a lot. AI loves Python. We do JavaScript in school. have only ever done JavaScript and TypeScript. Like maybe I've done a tiny bit of Swift, I think, with Alexander 6. But was it Swift? I'm not sure. Anyway, I just haven't had the need to learn a different language, and so I just haven't. Oh, you're not people, you're bean. No beans here. Get out of here with that bean shit. Python's a great language. JavaScript is a great language. Both of them have tons of versatility. Yeah, I mean, I don't do JavaScript because I'm like, I love JavaScript. It's just like, I don't know, it's the one I learned, and so I'm here, and yep. So wait, so is this really not gonna filter out like this one? The triangle formula is dynamic, so any three numbers, the two smallest summed together need to... Oh, so like C isn't always gonna be C. Is this a redundant line then, or how would we address that? You have 108.4 channel points. Well, so Lark, you redeemed some redemptions like 2 or 3 years ago, and I found out I could refund them because I never did them, and so I refunded them. What is my favorite takeout place? You just made a latte. I don't eat out that much, so I don't think I have one. What is yours? You can make a paste bin to show it with the formatting too. Yes, but don't let it be the answer. Like, I'm happy to learn, and I'm happy to learn from your finished code once I've finished it. Eating is overrated. I actually kind of feel like eating can be such a big chore. Like, if I could just drink like a Soylent, or if I could just, I don't know, if I just didn't have to eat, I think it would be nice. Not in like a freaky way, but just like, it's so much effort. Should you do it? Do I want to do that henna stream? Yes. If you want to do it, it's your redemption. Go for it. If we do, I can do henna on stream, or I can do a henna card, whatever you want, I suppose. If I do a henna stream, I do need to order some medical tape though. Half milk, half coffee, all latte. You make it with instant coffee. Okay, my favorite coffee is Café de Olla, which is a Mexican coffee with cinnamon, sugar, and then coffee. And it is so fucking good. It's so good. I found some at Costco, and I literally bought like a coffee, a French press, so I could have Café de Olla. It's really good. You should try it. I'm going to write it in the chat so you can look it up and do it. And oftentimes the sugar is a specific type of sugar. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It starts with P. It's like a triangle. It's like brown sugar, and it's like compacted into like a cone. Something. Panela, I think. Anyway, it's really good. And it's worse if you have milk in it, actually. It doesn't have to be a henna postcard, since it'll take a million years to get here. It really took months for it to get there? That's crazy. I still will send it to you, though. For those of you who didn't know, Lark just redeemed the bonus stream. So you name some times that work for you, and I'll do it when you want to do it. We're going to do a custom henna card or some henna, depending on what Lark wants. You're poor. Well, if you do something that's 100,000 points, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, let me know what your availability is, and I will work with you. I do have to get a tripod back from my brother, though, because you guys won't be able to see what I'm doing otherwise. It's like your whole viewing career. If you want, I can refund. You have to get a card out of this. Like, come on now. So, real question, though. Like, how do we address this without giving me the answer? Like, without giving me the code answer? You live with your decisions. You don't have to. I can refund it. No regrets. No regrets. You have a good star for me? Show me. Show me. Gotta find the biggest. Why? Once we find that, we need places to store them. Wait, why are we storing them? Because couldn't we just use A or B or C? It's not the solution, but here's an example of how to determine the biggest number and keep track of them all. If A is greater than or equal to B and A is greater than or equal to C, so we're saying that A is the biggest, then wait. Why would C be the biggest in this case? A, B, and C are given to us from the function. We don't know which is biggest or smallest, so we need our own labels. That's all a variable is. The biggest is A in that case. Yeah, I thought so. I was like, if A is greater than or equal to B and A is greater than, why would it be or equal to? Because wouldn't it be bigger? It wouldn't it be just be A is greater than B and A is greater than C? What did you redeem in the past? You did, I think a custom henna card or two. Wait, Olex, what did you just paste bin me? Did you paste bin me the answer or help? Because if it's the answer, I'll look at it later. If it's help, I can look at it. Oh, it's the solution. Okay, I want you to give it to me when we're done. The greater than or equal to case plus the and covers the case when we have 3, 3, and 3. Otherwise, this would never catch that case. So this is, basically, this is just hammering out which is the biggest and then being able to say if this is the biggest, then why do we want to do that? So right now what we're doing, alpha, is I'm just trying to like pseudocode it. But we said that this is not going to work out for me. So I'm just trying to figure out why we do need to like determine the biggest. So like we determine the biggest and then we see whether these are equal or less than, or wait, greater than, right? A, B, and C are arbitrary labels, right? The triangle formula is based on 2 legs and 1 long leg. A, B, and C are just the names of the input. We don't want to reassign those unless we really have to, but it seems like we do. A, B greater than C. Here C is the greatest number. So is this going to be a really long thing? It sounds like it's going to be. 20 lines, wow. You've done it in 3 lines. What? Without doing fancy stuff with arrays. Fancy stuff. So make a function that takes in 3 inputs. If there's 0 or less, return false. Then it seems like we would, you can do this in 1 if you really enjoy hating your code. So then we need to determine which is the biggest number. If A or B is bigger than C, then return false. Given A plus B greater than C. And then we would copy this a couple more times and we say if B or C is already bigger than A, then return false. If A or C is already bigger than B, then return false. Given B, A, C, C plus B, A. Right? And then, once all that's taken together, then we can add them. Then we can compare it. But do we need to do this like where add C and B and blah, 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 blah? Do we need to do the same thing here as we did like here? Well, I'll just start it then. I think that may be everything. No, I don't need to do that. That's what you're saying, I think. All right, so we made a function that takes in 3 inputs. Then we're going to say if A is less than or equal to 0, I think. Or, or B is less than or equal to 0. Or C is less than or equal to 0. Return false. Then make 3 different variables, it seems. And then you're just gonna reassign them. Why wouldn't we just like make the variables here? Is it because of the scope? Probably because of the scope, right? Also, people got mad at me for not using switch cases. Is this a good opportunity for a switch case? I don't mean Nintendo Switch cases. Sorry, you're bad. I am not sure if I actually know how to use a switch case. If coding is this slow, making software would take a whole lifetime. You know what? We are constantly distracting me. So there. So we have the expression. So it sounds like we would. Wait a second, I just gotta blow my nose again. That's gross. Jackson, you said that you recommend just if else, and I can do that. We take our time, distracted in the name of the bean god. It's not our fault we're slow. We were born this way. You know what? You know what? Sometimes you just gotta take your time. Take your time. So in that case, then we have to say, let biggest number equal 0. And then we're going to say, let smallest 1 equal 0. Let smallest 2 equal 0. Well, maybe I should just say num. I should keep it num. Other num. I don't know. I don't know. Learning by the ooh. What's that, brother? Brother ooh. Disgusting. If A is greater than B and A is greater than C. That would make sense. Okay, I see. If A is greater than or equal to B and A is greater than or equal to C, then biggest num would be A. And then smallest num would be B. It doesn't really matter. Smallest other num would be C. And then we can copy that. Or I guess else if. Awkward spaces. And then we would say B, A, B, C. And then we would say B, A, C. And I'm just going to copy that one. And then I think this would just be an else, actually. Else. Oh, actually, it would be an if because we still got to do the C, I think. And this B, C. C, B, right? You still don't fully understand object-oriented programming. You get the idea, but you can never grasp how it works in C++. Honestly, samesies. I don't know if I actually do either. Object-oriented programming is just the idea of mapping the real world and code based on the concept. The world is things. Things do stuff and have properties. We're not fancy here. We're at very varying levels of complexity or knowledge, and all of them are good. Pseudocode is the best code. Change my mind. I don't want to. You can't make me change your mind because I agree. Alright, so, whoa. Another raid? Hi, Zed. Welcome, everyone. Everyone say, welcome, Zed. We are doing coding. You actually came at a great time because we are legitimately doing coding. It's going pretty good. Wait a second. Let me share the link for this CodeWars. It was 5 million years ago, actually. Let me just see if I can find it. It's going pretty good. So we are doing math, unfortunately, but we are trying to figure out if a triangle can be a triangle with the length of sides given. So like if A, B, and C are compatible in triangle lengths. So they have to have it has to be 0 or above. But we have to do math, sadly, like I said. We just spent a long time getting to this part, but this is the formula we're going off of, which is possibly the Pythagorean theorem. We're unsure. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. But we just barely did this part where we are making sure that this test case is satisfied, because like this can't be bigger than like C. So we just wrote it out where like if A is bigger or equal to B and also C, then that's the biggest number, etc. We also got to this point where anything 0 or below, we just automatically return false. Yield triangle inequality. Can you believe it? Can you believe we're voluntarily doing math as adults? Like, boo. Also typing things to follow. Boo, but here we are. So, whatever, I guess. Anyway, now that we've done that, we've got to add A and B together in a new variable. Let's just do that up here because just have them all together. Combo variable equals 0. Then we're going to reassign it. We're going to say combo variable equals A plus B, right? Biggest number should be a right. Wait, what do you mean? You see an important bug, yes. Yes, give me a hint. What are we doing? We're doing math. Tell me this isn't the mathiest math you ever mathed. The smallest number should be a right. Does it matter? Out of curiosity? Like, if it does, let me know. But also, does it? Mixed up lines in 43, 47, 40, 51. Okay, wait a second. Because if A is greater than or equal to B, and also C, why would that be mixed up? B, A, B, C, C, A, C, B? Wait, why is it mixed up? A greater than or equal to B is read as A is less than or equal to. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. I love math. I'm just going to copy this because I'm tired of typing it every time. Why do we have variables for the variables? So, how about that? How about that? We have them because we have to determine, we're specifically addressing this example because, like, if this is A, B, and C, actually this can't be bigger than C, or it's an auto. But also apparently A, B, and C aren't really set in stone, so it can like switch around. And so we have to find what the biggest one is, and then we have to say, what were we doing with that? Then we have to say if smallest num plus smallest other num is less than biggest num, then return. We didn't do that, did we? Oops. If smallest num plus equals smallest other num is less than, I think just less than, biggest num, return false, right? Hey, Matt. A is less than B, and A is less than C, so the smallest should be right. Should be A right. Okay, does it matter if it's a right, though? Gods of variables love variables. Why can't we do without the number of variables? Because, then we couldn't do this? I'm unsure. Watch out for plus equals when you just mean plus. Yeah, well, we, wanted to add them together. What's large, create, and doesn't matter, and irrelevant. You're not familiar with this method. The only triangle inequality you know of is for all three sides of a triangle. If a sum of two sides is less than a third, it can't be a triangle. No, that's it. That's this one. That's this one. This is us attempting to address that. You can do it without the variables. It just looks like math code gibberish. If I had to start today, would I choose to learn the same stack, TypeScript, React.js? Yeah. But I would learn JavaScript and then I would learn TypeScript. It's not a far jump, honestly. But it's easy to go from JavaScript to TypeScript. And maybe a little less hard to go from straight into TypeScript. As for React, I'm not sure. I've been out of the game for a couple of years. Is React so widely used, everyone? I think so. Do I want to add or reassign? It depends on where we are. I want to. Oh, I just want to add these. Are we saying I should just add? It would be reassigning if I did it the other way. It just dawned on you how to do this simpler. I mean, we could go a different direction, or we could see it through. What do we think? But this is essentially what we wanted to do, right? Then we've got the combo variable, and if combo variable, if combo variable is less than C, greater than C, greater than or equal to C, return true, else return false. I don't know. Get to a working solution first and then figure out how to improve. Writing over verbose code is a great way to learn the concepts. That makes sense. Am I missing anything? Do we need this to be here with its life? 59 and 60, we might want to reference the biggest and smallest nums. Why? Why do we need to do... Oh, I see what you're saying. Combo equals smallest num and smallest other num. Other num. And biggest num. Yeah? This is quite verbose. Okay. This is run.js. It's just gonna run the code for us. I just want to get rid of all of that just so we can see what's up. Hey! Did we win? No, we didn't. So that's interesting. I was looking forward to winning. 268 should return false. Tiny bug on line 42. What's wrong with combo var? First try? Almost. Could have been. 42 on the submission? Wait, what do you... Oh. 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 Is greater than, right? Maybe? Oh, I don't know why, though. I don't know why that was the case. Greater than biggest num. Because it always has to be greater than the biggest num. It can't be equivalent, right? Why can't it be equivalent? We did it. He's a chunky boy, but we did it. If you have legs 8, 4, and 4, that can only be a straight line. Wait. Why? I don't understand math well enough to know. Draw it. You can't make me. Excalibur. I've ranked up. I already ranked up. Did I rank up more? No. Alright, now you can post your solutions. Alright, you did. You were on top of it. Let's see the 3-line solution. Alright, if A... Okay, tell me why you didn't use 3 out of curiosity. Is equal to 0, or B, or C, return false. Does this mean that all negative ones will return false? And then you made an object and equivalenced them over to A, B, and C. Sorted, wait, you sorted X, Y in descending order. Yeah, wait, from like biggest to smallest. And then you returned like what would be B and C. Oh, so you made it, you sorted it so that the biggest, you sorted it so that there was a biggest, right? And then the ones that weren't the biggest had to be greater than the biggest. You feel like it could just say return A plus B is greater than C and B plus C is greater than A and A plus C is greater than B. Maybe with another check that nothing is greater than or equal to 0. Dynamic array declaration is slick, way beyond where we're at, but I like it. It gets sorted so the first value is always the biggest. Oops. Alright, guys. So, line, okay. So we got a triangle, okay? And this is like, because you guys said I needed to do this to understand. 3, 4, 6, right? So 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7 is greater than 6. But my question was, if you have legs 8, 4, and 4, then that would be a straight line. So 4 plus 4 equals 8, right? 8 is not greater than 8. I understand that, but I don't know why it would be a straight line. And we had -3, 4, 6. -3 plus 4 is 1. 1 is not greater than 6. For the 2 forelegs to reach the end of the 8 leg, they have to be in a perfect line, 0 surface area. Why wouldn't they be in a perfect line? You got it. Imagine I have 2 pencils. All right. I can do better than imagine. We're going to pretend that these are pencils, okay? You break one in half. Okay. You can't make a triangle with it that has space inside. Because it's not bigger. It would just, it's not bigger. It would do like this. Math is hard. Voluntarily doing math. This is a math stream. I hate to tell everyone, because I hate math. I don't hate it. I like it if I understand it. I think I do understand this, though. This looks like hieroglyphs. It does. This is Rufio writing in hieroglyphs. Do, 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 do. There, how's that? It really does, actually. Runes. It does. It looks like runes. This last one didn't look very good, though. Messed up Germanic runes. Carve it into a sword and see if it glows. Carve it into a ring and see if you get possessed by an evil demonic power that just makes you want to have power and disappear and possess a ring. There you go. Carve it into beans and see that you hate them. That's a terrible bean. I can do that better than that. Hate. No. Can you tell I'm an artist? I do art. That's a peanut. No, a peanut would have texture. A peanut would be like... like that, you know? No, I can't. You know what? You know what? Get out of here with that, because I swear I do art. All right, let's see this one. Another solution. All right. So if a plus b is less than or equal to c, that makes sense, return false. And then you did the same thing with a plus c and b. B plus c is less than a. Otherwise, you would return true. They're not stuff we're missing here. Like, I can see it's a lot more clean than mine. But what about it being 0 or something? Yeah. It passes all the test cases, huh? But what about 0? Why does this pass the 0 test cases or the negative numbers? It's kind of cool that some things in life you can just solve with like a formula, you know, like it makes sense when we were drawing that out, like with the broken sticks, the broken pencils and stuff, and like, you know, like you could break 2 pencils and be like, there's a formula for this, like the pencils need to be a certain length to make a triangle, and I've made that in logic. Math. plus 4, because 4 plus 0 is less than 5, but they did explicitly say no zeros. You think since it returns false in all less than or equal to cases, that covers any zeros. Oh, okay. You didn't get it even with the drawing? Even with my gorgeous drawing? What are you talking about? How could you not understand? Right. So like, for example, there's a triangle, right? Okay. This stick, if we put it together, is going to be like this long. Okay? But if we have two sticks that are the same length, and this one gets broken in half, then when we try to make a triangle out of it, it will look like that. It won't become a full triangle. It would have to be a much longer stick. It's not long enough. Someone's going to come on the stream and be like, what is happening? Hi, Surly. Out of curiosity, did you just come on the stream and say, what is happening? Now you get it. Wow. Am I capable of teaching just a tiny bit? What is happening? Yeah, yep. So everyone, I've decided that everyone's going to learn like Old Germanic and the accompanying runes. So this is our first lesson. Carve it on a ring. You just paid attention this time. So I was equally as good both times, you're saying? Also, not at all related. Omniglot. This is a really cool website if anyone's interested in like alphabets and stuff. You should check it out. It's really cool. And it's for like writing systems that exist and for conlings, like people who have made their own languages or their own scripts. They're like alternative ones for English as well, you know, and you can like look at it. Like, for example, if we look at this one, you can look at the language, and it's written in the Latin script, which is not very cool, but that's okay. If we look at like an alphabet, or actually, I think if you like Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, Tengwar, that one would be here. See, Tengwar for Quenya, and you can see it here. You think you've heard about it before. That's probably because I brought it up before. I think it's a really cool website. Been a fan of it for years, like over 10 years. Tolkien was such a nerd. It's a beautiful language, though. Hey, Concord. Thanks for the follow. Anyway. Or like, you could do a constructed language or a script for English. ENGLIO. English code. English featural alphabet. Oh. To create an alphabet in which the connections are shown in the letter shapes. So, ak, a, ah. That's an interesting distinction. A and ah. Ba, cha, da, za, probably. Ek, e. Anyway. I don't know if I quite understand, but it is cool. Looks like messed up Tibetan. Let's just go to straight up Tibetan. I don't know about that. Very beautiful, though. Oh. Are you saying, like, Tengwar does? Because this definitely looks like Tengwar and vice versa. God, languages are cool. I'm a fan. So beautiful. The one before English. Yeah, Tengwar, yep. Which is a constructed alphabet for a constructed language, for Quenya in Lord of the Rings. I'm listening to the first Lord of the Rings, actually. My cousin recommended it because Andy Serkis narrates it. And I do think he does a good job, but I don't care about Tom Bombadil. Jesus Christ. Just sings so much. You like it? Me too. Well, we're going to take this beautiful solution and we're going to put it on the internet. Under 8/7/2025. So we're going to say git add git status just to see what's going on. Git commit dash date equals, we're backdating by the way, 0807-m, making a message, add coding challenge for Aug 7th 2025. Then we're gonna get push. It's gonna be like, are you sure? And I'm gonna say yes. And then if we look, there's nothing here. And now there is. One day you will read Lord of the Rings, or you could listen to it. Funnily enough, you're rewatching them, but they're so long you have to watch them for 30 minutes and you have to stop. Make it episodic. I want to know if someone ever like was nerdy enough to dub the whole thing in like Quenya, like in like elf language. Lord of the Rings is okay. The book is good. Right now, I'm reading the book. It's alright. I don't know. I feel like it's like a pretty standard fantasy book. Like, obviously Tolkien did a lot in regards to language, and that's pretty cool. But I feel like, there's some books that we put on pedestals when you're like, oh no, like that's like a fantasy book, and there are lots of those out there, and they're mostly all good. You met the guy who wrote Vulcan language in Star Trek. Elfish is like Finnish, you believe. That's super cool that you met them. When did you meet them? Why are we backdating? Because I can. Because I already put 2 contributions today, and filling up the squares may make people, I don't know, want to hire me. I don't know. I'm not trying to get hired right now, but maybe. You haven't been able to read any fantasy books lately. You don't know why. You feel bored and feel like you need to do something else more productive with your life. I feel like there are times and seasons for everything, and if it's not what you're interested in right now, do something else, When you're 20 at university. Very cool. In Ottawa. A Canadian, eh? Yeah, I think that would be really cool to meet like people who make conlings. And there's always time for beans. Papa Smurf of Death. I like the name. Thanks to follow. Papa Smurf of Death. I'm not job hunting. Am I just going full streamer mode? So I am not job hunting, but I'm also not going full streamer mode. I've been trying to do a stream a week, and I have been doing that. I really burnt out on streaming before I stopped streaming for 2 years, and I'm trying to do enough streaming where people can come hang out and we're having fun, but also not so much where I'm like, oh God, no, I have to stream again, But I don't feel like I'm probably ready to get a job as a software engineer right now. Ooh, wait. Okay, I made it. Just because I haven't really been coding for 2 years, and the extent of my coding has literally been code challenges in the past 2 months. I keep meaning to do some projects on my own time, and then I just don't do them, and I just read a book instead. So I don't know, but I do want to get back into it. I swear I'm not as sick as I sound. I just can't breathe through my nose right now. I do want to get back into it, but I gotta do it. I've also been meaning to go back through 100 devs and start at JavaScript and then work my way forward, because at that point in 100 devs I kind of tuned out, and I definitely understand a fair amount of JavaScript and backend, but I think there's much more that I could understand. I'm speaking your language right now. I'm glad you can relate. I wanted to know, how's your job been lately? Are you at the same job? Oh, can't breathe out of my nose. I don't know. I need to do stuff. I just haven't been. We're gonna do a big project on stream, and we still are. I just need to get my shit together and do it. Like today I was like, I should do something that isn't just CodeWars. And I was like, well, I don't know. I think I want to do CodeWars. Start small. So what does small look like? That's what I want to know. You're pretty burnt out, damn. You're exhausted from working. You just want to quit everything and be creative for a year. I mean, if you can, like if you have enough money, go for it. I technically have a job. I'm a property manager. Like after I get off of this stream and pick up my brother-in-law's car from the car shop, I gotta go do some apartment turnover. Really looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to that, but that's what I've been doing, and it's put me in a place where I can, like, I don't know, I don't have to worry about feeding myself. I have a place to live, and so there's no like overwhelming drive to get a job in software engineering because like all my needs are taken care of, even if I'm not earning anywhere as much as I was in software engineering. So I was like the examples of mini projects. Limit them to 1 hour max. Really? Do you think? I don't know if I could do anything in 1 hour. I can't even do a CodeWars in 1 hour. Yeah. But again, would like to eventually get another job. I was gonna shoot for January, and then I'm gonna be traveling all of January, so I can't do that. So maybe like, I don't know, this time next year or something, I don't know. This time next year feels pretty reasonable, and if it's earlier than that, that would be good, but stop texting me. When I do get my project off the ground, something that helps you is you start creating tickets for yourself so you can forget about what you need to do and take small pieces. That's a good idea. Well, and like the project that we're supposed to be doing on stream, like the Bigo project, is supposed to be like open source where everyone can contribute. So it should be like easily ticketed, but we have to like set down like the architecture and I don't know, stuff like that. You have to get it going first, which is hard. Yep, exactly. Yes, traveling. I'm doing a month-long road trip in January. Stop texting me. Stop being so relatable. I don't know. There's something in my brain where it's hard for me to respond to messages. Even if I like the people. Like this is literally my mom and my sister right now texting me in a group chat. And they're responding to something I said, and here I am like, oh, stop. Like yeah. Her nose. Hopefully this is as sick as I get. My brother was sick, and then my other brother was with him, and then I shared ice cream with my other brother, and I was like, I wonder if this is probably not a good idea. And guess what? It wasn't a good idea. I should not have shared ice cream with my other brother. I was a fool. Yeah. It's been pretty good overall. Like I can't really complain. I've been really lucky to have like the opportunities I have. And I with coding, I know that I'm in a place now where like I can actually code. Like I know I'm capable of it. I know I could be better and I would like to be better. But I don't know. There's this like consistent jump in my life where like I want something and I never make the jump to it, you know? It's not just in coding, in a lot of things. Your sister also got you sick last week. Did you tell her don't do that? Wrong. Just do it. Right. If anything was as simple as just do it. Just get your shit together and do it. I don't know. It has to be something wrong with me, though. I can do it. I know I can. I don't know. Just bean it. Just bean it. Just bean it. Oh, it's like I learned to trust in the do. Wait, I don't understand. What does that mean? You ever like breathe in because you think it's gonna help you breathe and then it doesn't do that? Would not recommend. Just remember that just do it helped you overcome a lot of my anxiety. I don't think I have anxiety, and then I might, I don't know. I don't think I do. It's not anxiety. It's just like I just don't do it, you know? I'm not worried or scared about doing it. I just don't. The lag just caught up. How's it now? Anxiety is just a behavior like avoidance. So, are you saying that there's something at the root of it? Wait a second. What is beating up robots? It's a rhythm game. What rhythm game is this? Oh, Hi-Fi Rush. That sounds interesting. Don't know how I missed that completely. Anxiety is the after, not the real cause. You're asthmatic game Rex. What is Hi-Fi Rush? Oh, because you finished. How can you finish Islander? It's a game that goes for forever. All right, I'll look up Hi-Fi Rush. I haven't really been in a video game kick lately. Anxiety can be like being scared of something. Like it sucks taking a cab and then you get scared of taking cabs because you have bad experiences. Yeah, I mean that could, I don't know, could be it. I don't know. Like it's like there's like a name for it. I don't know if it's executive dysfunction, but like when you want to do something, you know you can do something, you're not like trying to avoid doing something, you just don't do the thing. That's executive dysfunction. And what is the solution? I thought it was executive dysfunction. It's one thing to name it and it's another to solve it. Am I leaving? We're at like 3 hours. We're not coding anymore. Looking at a game about programming, Replicube. Oh, I will check that out. Interesting. The solution is to do it. Real G's program for 12 hours. I have done that before. But do you remember the burnout thing I was talking about? Yeah. Trying to avoid the burnout thing. Oh, thank you. I gotta cut my hair. It's hitting my shoulders and I'm feeling tired of it. But that's another thing I keep thinking about not doing. I don't know. Once it hits like right here, I think it's gonna go away. 3 hours is plenty. I didn't think we would go this long. I thought that I would get called away for this car thing that I said I would going to. I know how to say words. After 8 hours of coding, the brain gets fried. We've probably spent like 2 hours coding. Maybe. No, an hour and a half, probably. I don't know. We've spent a lot more time just saying stuff. Pick a pair of scissors and do it. This isn't COVID times. More time talking about beans and fish gods. Beans, fish gods, philosophy, fallacies. Beans, fish. Too bad beans don't start with an F. I had an alliteration thing going on there. Anyway, I'm so excited to go turn around an apartment and hammer a baseboard and stuff. You remember when you used to cut your own hair during the pandemic? I did my mom's hair and I was like, Mom, I'm not qualified for this. She's like, I literally could not care less. So I did it and it didn't look very good and she didn't care. And I was like, okay, all right. That works, I guess. Since the pandemic, you're officially bald. Did the pandemic do that to you? Did it just, was it a coincidence? Pandemic was 5 years ago. That was so long ago, but also not long at all. No, the trimmer did it to you. Unless it's something you want. I've gone through so many hair lengths in the past 5 years. I went really short. I've done this long. Yeah, it's basically been like here up. I haven't shaved my head, but I've done a lot of hair lengths. Anyway, this was fun. I actually had a really good time on stream today, and I hope you did too. We did so many random things, completely just so off the rails, and it was in a good way. I hope you tell your friends and family about Pythagorean bean cults and your new deity. But we should go and raid Alan. Spread some love and follows. They were here for a decent amount of time actually. That was pretty cool. I didn't spell the name right. And then we will stream again next week on Tuesday in what is my afternoon. So not this time of day, but later in the time of day. So hope you get better as I'm not sick. Thank you. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Let's go spread some love and follows to Alan. All right. See ya.